Blake Lively has just said it does not end with us to Justin Baldoni by producing this massive lawsuit against him, his studio, and his PR team. This 80-page lawsuit includes allegations of sexual harassment on the set of the movie It Ends With Us and social manipulation leading to emotional distress. Except there's a twist in this story because I don't believe that this is a lawsuit at all. I mean, it looks like a lawsuit and it smells like a lawsuit. And it tastes like a... Gotcha. This appears to be and has been reported to be a bombshell lawsuit, but it doesn't have any legal claims in it and has not asked for any relief from a court and has not been filed in any court of record that I can find. Join me, America's attorney, a lawyer for over 23 years, helping over 20,000 people while I break down Blake Lively's claims in this lawsuit. As you may likely know, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni co-starred in the hit summer drama It Ends With Us. The launch of this movie was filled with controversy due to the entire cast's cold behavior towards Baldoni, including unfollowing him on social media and doing totally separate PR events. And now this lawsuit gives some insight into why. According to this fake lawsuit, the filming of this movie was filled with inappropriate behavior by Justin Baldoni and by his co-producer Jamie Heath, which led to a hostile work environment. This behavior allegedly includes showing nude images of women to Lively and other employees, conversations surrounding the defendant's pornography addiction, improvisation during intimate scenes, and so much more. Like, actually, so much more. It's hard to summarize the full extent of the accusations of inappropriate behavior. This behavior led to an all-hands meeting on the set of the movie to address the behavior and create a list of protections to resume production of the movie. But that's just the beginning of the accusations. The fake lawsuit continues by alleging that Justin Baldoni and his crisis PR team, primarily Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel, engaged in a practice known as astroturfing. Astroturfing, as explained by the lawsuit, is the practice of publishing opinions or comments on the internet, in the media, etc., that appear to come from ordinary members of the public, but actually come from a particular company or political group. This was done, according to the lawsuit, as retaliation for Lively standing up for herself and other women on the set, as well as to mitigate the risk of Lively speaking out against Baldoni. In the lawsuit's own words, to safeguard against the risk of Miss Lively ever revealing the truth about Mr. Baldoni, the Baldoni Wayfarer team created, planted, amplified, and boosted content designed to eviscerate Miss Lively's credibility. The fake lawsuit comes with receipt after receipt after receipt, mostly in the form of text messages between Baldoni, Nathan, and Abel. Messages like, "We can't write it down to him. We can't write, 'We will destroy her.' Imagine if a document saying all the things he wants ends up in the wrong hands." And from Baldoni, "This is what we would need," referencing a Twitter thread on Hailey Bieber's past of bullying women. Or even this, Jennifer Abel congratulating Melissa Nathan on a Daily Mail article bashing Blake Lively, to which Nathan responds, "I mean, that's why you hired me, right? I'm the best." And aside from the text, there are several examples of in-person inappropriate behavior. Let's take a look at just two of these examples. Maybe tempting to think that if an actress agrees to appear in a movie in which there's a kissing scene with another actor, that's it, anything goes, and there's no rules regarding their kissing scene. But actually, nothing could be further from the truth. These scenes are typically tightly choreographed, and each actor knows exactly what they must and must not do, and what contact they can and cannot have with one another. So while a kissing scene may look spontaneous or normal or natural, it's only because it's been written that way and practiced. So if an actor were to go off script and, let's say, for instance, place their hands on the body of the other actor in a place that's not a part of the script, from a legal standpoint and from a common decency standpoint, that would be no different than a coworker in an office doing that, or a factory doing the same thing, in that just because an actor has consented to a mouth-to-mouth kiss doesn't mean that they've consented to handsy groping. And yet, according to the fake lawsuit, intimate scenes between Lively and Baldoni immediately went off script and became more physically intimate than described in the approved script. And just to put a finer point on it, just because an actress agrees to be kissed or touched in one scene in a predetermined way, that does not mean that she becomes an object who can be treated however the other actors on set might want to treat her during the rest of the filming. I mean, I feel like you don't even need me to tell you that, but apparently that's a message that has not been universally understood, at least according to the fake lawsuit. As another example, if an actress appears in a movie partially nude in a particular scene, that does not mean that the actress has consented to be viewed nude or partially nude around the set, or by people who are working on other aspects of the movie. All of that level of undress is highly regulated through the terms of the contract that the actor signs, including typically a document called a nudity rider, which explains the terms and conditions surrounding any undress or physical intimacy or simulated physical intimacy. According to the lawsuit, one of the executives of Wayfair insisted on interacting with Lively while she was topless in her trailer, despite her insistence that he give her privacy. And again, to analyze this properly from a legal standpoint, you have to treat this workplace as though it were any office or factory or any other traditional work setting. Such contact would not be tolerated in any way. The boss cannot come into the locker room. It's totally irrelevant that one part of the job requires partial nudity. The guys on the set do not have permission to ogle the actress at other times or invade her privacy. I've only mentioned a couple of instances here, but the fake lawsuit details these and many others. And it certainly seems that this is not just a he said, she said situation, as there is a documented meeting of the entire cast and crew at which there were safeguards put in place for everyone to prevent just this sort of conduct. Moreover, it appears that lawyers from Sony, who were involved in the future distribution of the movie but not the production of the movie, signed off on these protections without asserting that the basis for them was, fabricated. Basically, this means that it's super obvious that Lively was not making up these complaints. But then this fake lawsuit takes a turn for the, absolutely bizarre when it details a story of Justin Baldoni through a crisis management PR firm seeking to attack, undermine, and manipulate any public understanding around what actually happened on the movie set. And I'm not just talking about trying to say good things about himself or minimizing his bad behaviors, but instead paying professional social media manipulators to plant seemingly organic stories that were totally false and merely meant to detract from the version of the production of the movie that is detailed through Miss Lively and her recounting of the harassment and mistreatment, specifically as laid out in the lawsuit. To be clear, when I have called this a fake lawsuit, what I mean is that it has not been filed with any court that I can find. If I'm wrong, hit me in the comments. However, that might be perfectly reasonable because it may be the case that Miss Lively is starting with a filing with the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission or the California state version of a similar office, in which case she would be required to start with an administrative filing, can't go straight to court. However, the leaking of the allegations in the physical form of a proposed lawsuit is a strategic decision not by lawyers seeking to win a lawsuit, but by a savvy PR specialist seeking to control a public narrative. In terms of the likely veracity of the allegations contained in the fake lawsuit, one of the most interesting facts is that the PR team that was engaged to smear Miss Lively was clearly a victim of a mole who leaked the actual text messages to Miss Lively's team, meaning that there is no dispute as to the fact that a PR team was hired to smear her and did in fact spread lies about Blake Lively on purpose in order to counter the terrible narrative coming from the set of the movie, none of which is or reasonably can be disputed by Mr. Baldoni at this point in time. And it's not just him. As many of you know, he was the co-host of a podcast called Man Enough. In response to the publication of this lawsuit, his co-host, Liz Plank, left the project. Now, these are not just high school buddies that can walk away from each other. They have a legal document that binds them together in this business, meaning that Baldoni's own podcast co-founder doesn't believe that he is innocent and believes that she has a legal basis to give him a couple of these. Because this case has not even been filed and there's an administrative process that must be completed before litigation can commence in federal court, it's likely too early to speculate as to the outcome of the dispute. But that's not going to stop me. Mr. Baldoni is going to pay money, or rather Wayfair Studios is going to pay money and issue a public apology. There is no path forward for Baldoni to resolve this dispute without acknowledging just how incredibly mishandled this movie production was. Now, to be fair, I'm not bold enough to put a dollar value on the settlement, but I can assure you it will be more than $2 million, and there will be a public acknowledgement by Baldoni and or the studio that they mistreated Miss Lively and other members of the set. And there will also be money donated to domestic violence prevention causes on top of that. But hey, look, I've only been an employment lawyer for 23 years, and I've only represented about 20,000 clients, so what do I know? That's just me. What are your thoughts on Blake Lively's lawsuit? Do you believe fully the allegations in her lawsuit, or are you waiting to hear Baldoni's side of the story? Drop your pro se opinion down below in the comments, and don't forget while you're there to lawyer up with me, America's attorney, by subscribing. I'll be back very soon with another banger video, and you don't want to miss it. See ya! and issue a public policy. Undress or physical intimacy reasonably can be disputed by Mr. Dal.